How's life right now? You seem to be going largely well at the moment, don't you, as a club?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we've picked up a few wins. I know we had the defeat against the MK, but we went about it the right way. And then, obviously, the draw Saturday against, again, another top of the league or top end position team in Walsall, are a good side. You know, I touched on that Saturday about how they play, how they go about it, good players. So, yeah, so we're all in a good place at the minute. You know, said we finished on a positive Saturday, which is, you know, we didn't lose the game, which was good.
Defensively here, things have tightened up, haven't they?
Yeah, well, we've just all been talking about that. We've just had a meeting with the team, just reflected over the Saturday's game, and we've just said about the mentality's changed in terms of, you know, the last 10, 15 minutes of a game, the last 5, if you like, Saturday, in terms of the corners that got asked and the questions. So, the mentality has changed. It has, that's for sure. You know, we've looked at our line in terms of when we're clearing the balls, can we get higher? At times when they've got the ball, are we too deep? So we've looked at all that, reflecting all that, and you know, we're slowly but surely getting better at that.
What do you put it down to, John, whether the mentality has changed? Is it the fact that you have won games recently and confidence is higher?
Well, exactly, I think that is it, Andy. Yeah, it's a big help in winning the games. So there's more belief then in saying, yeah, you know, when you're convincing players, well, this is the way forward. So I think it's definitely that. And I think it's the day-to-day thing that you do on the training ground, you know, of practicing things, you know, one thing after another, whether it's free kicks, whether it's corners, open play, whatever it is, and where your line is, where it should be, and so on, and just, you know, small steps.
I know you said earlier on in the season, when results weren't particularly going for you, that you weren't too displeased with what you were seeing out there. Are you seeing better on the park, or are you just seeing, John, sometimes you win games even though you might have played even better in August, but you might have won a game in October?
A little bit of both. I think you said you can analyse, you can see that you can have all the ball, all the stats, but exactly what you've done with it. And I always go on about the biggest stats, the scoreline. But you know, you look at that if you've lost the game type of thing. I think we're going in the right direction. We've had so many entries in the box. We've got the ball wide. We've got the ball in the box. You know, you've had so many shots. You've had so many crosses. You've had so many corners. So you look at all that. I think when results aren't going, and you know, that's what kept us going, if you like, in terms of, you know, my messages or our messages to the players, to the squad, that we are going in the right direction, and it will change, and obviously it did change against Morecambe.
Just on all these stats that we get these days, John, there's stats for everything in football. I'm sure when you played, there was nowhere near as many different XGs and everything else that's going on right now. What are the big key metrics? Take the scoreline out of it. What are the ones as a coach and a head coach that you look at to say, we need to do better at that and that?
I think it's our game plan. So firstly, it's the opposition you're playing against, and I think it's how you go about it. So we tried to go about it in getting the ball wide on Saturday against Walsall, and I just think at times we didn't do that, and that was down to, you look at the opposition. I think they put us under pressure when a first ball dropped down, or the second ball, that they picked it up or we picked it up, and then we just didn't execute to getting it wide. So we would have liked to have got it more into the wider areas and put balls in the box. And that's more of a question. So it all depends the opposition. It all depends in terms of what you want to restrict the opposition to do in terms of stats. So you don't want any crosses coming in your box. So can we be better in wider areas? Can we win out individual duels, 1v1s or 2v2s? You know, how many times is your centre forward going to head the ball? You know, so I think it's the opposition you're playing against in terms of what goals or what targets you can set the team or the individual player.
Going into quite a different week for you here, aren't we? The league takes a back seat for now. EFL Trophy and FA Cup this week. An under-21s team and a non-league team. The preparation, I guess, will be different, but the outcomes, you want to be exactly the same.
Well, you do. You want the outcome the same in terms of you know, winning the games if you can. You try your best to that, and there is a different week. You know, we've got Everton Under-21s coming tomorrow, so we've prepared for that. We've done what research we can on that in terms of the software we use. You know, we've looked at the 21s, and I think they played Liverpool on Saturday in the mini derby, and Paul Tate's team won 2-0, which was good for them. And you know, they had different people playing. I think they had a couple that have tasted first team football. I think if you look back at the results they've had when they played Tranmere and they beat Tranmere, I think Beto was in the team then and scored 2. So I don't think he's going to be in the team, but I don't know. You know, he's come on Saturday and scored in the first team, so you don't know. The team's changed from when they played Stockport. There's a few lads gone out on loan. I think Metcalf's gone to Chesterfield, and there's another centre forward's gone to Salford, isn't it yet? So the team could be could be a mixture of, I think Lindstrom's played the game as well for them as well. So it could be, they could go strongish, or it could be quite a young team. So I'd have to wait and see for tomorrow for that.
It's really difficult to predict this, isn't it? Because they can play overage players if they see the reason for it. If someone's coming back from injury, for example, this is a really good opportunity, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, the one is it Brandwaite, is it? He's coming back from injury, so they could play him. They could play, I think, Patterson, the right back. I think he's had a few injury issues, so he could play. So we don't know. We'd set it up in terms of how we go about it. We know the formation that they could possibly play. So we'll go about it our way and have a plan to go and nullify theirs.
Is it a special club for you, John?
It is. I mean, I spent many years at Everton as a coach. Loved every minute of it. It's my club anyway, so love supporting the club. Got season tickets still. Me and my sons, Joe and Sam, we go. My wife, Suzanne, so we go. When I can go, I can go. So yeah, love the club to bits, to be honest. So it'd be good seeing Paul Tate, because he came in just after me to take the under-18s. So it's really, really nice memories, at Everton. It's an unbelievable facility, and Finch Farm's outstanding. And Goodison Park, the final season this year, if you like, and we've got an unbelievable stadium to go to in Bramley Moor.
Yeah, it's state-of-the-art training ground, a new stadium they're going to, but Belfield and Goodison Park are, in Goodison's case, Belfield. What a characteristic place that is.
Well, even that, yeah, I've played games there myself. So when I was a professional footballer at Wigan Athletic, we used to go and play behind closed doors there against Everton's first team, what have you. So that was special in itself. I mean, I was like a little schoolboy going there playing, I was made up like. But yeah, so as I said, the club is big with me and my family anyway.
For some of the lads who came through at Everton when you were there, John, just share with us some names that you worked with from a very early age.
Well, it's funny because, you've got probably the ones that stick out now. Some of them are playing the championships. You've got Liam Walsh, you've got Callum Connolly, you've got Kieran Dowell. I think he's up at Rangers still. There's a load, there's the lads floating all around playing, still playing professional football, if you like, the championship end. Shane Duffy, at Norwich, I think Shane. So there's a load of them. I coached Jose Baxter, I had a little go with them. So I'd always dip in and out, to be honest. I was more the schoolboys, if you like. Neil Dewsnip, when he was there, I think he's director of football at Plymouth Argyle. So yeah, there's quite a lot. Jack Rodwell, when I was there, so you dip in and out. Conor McElhaney, who's at Salford. Luke Garbutt was at Salford. So I could go on, honestly. There's that many of them. But it's a special place for me, and I love my time at Everton Football Club, that's for sure.
Do you take a lot of pride when you see some of these lads who've gone on and had a career when, at the time that you'll have worked with them, you'll have probably had an inkling whether they were good enough, but to get that opportunity and play hundreds of games in a football league for some of these lads, you must take some pride in that. Well,
you do. I mean, I think they start getting noticed when around about 15, 16, and obviously if you get into the first team, 21s in the first team, then it's fantastic. But you look at it and you say to yourself, you've got hands in their development, which is great. But the thing for me as a coach, if you like, and I'm working with them kids at the time, is that they still text you and they still get in touch with you. And then, I went to Salford not a while ago watching MK Dons against Salford, and Luke Garbutt and Conor McElhaney, waving and stuff. So it's nice to still have them relationships with them lads. Conor Grant as well, who's at Port Vale now. Port Vale are flying. So all these players and all these kids that you sort of coached as a young, it does fill you with pride, especially is because they're still in contact with you today.
How much talent are you expecting to come up against this week?
I don't know. It's second guessing, Andy, because I hope it is a strong team that does come, because it would be great for our lads, and it'd be great for the fans to see them. And as you know, the WAM Stadium it's tight knit, isn't it? It's really close. So to get up close and personal with them players, if they do bring a strong team, which would be good for them and good for our players.
Just in the competition in general, John, you've got to win the game, haven't you, to stand a chance of going through? We know that. Does it sit well with you that the final game for the other two teams isn't taking place this week, and regardless of how well you do, a point for each of those will send them both through? To me, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound fair that your lads are going to play their final group game and they know full well in another week or two that two teams could play out the most boring draw ever, and whatever your efforts are in this game counts for nothing.
Well, you're right. So you've answered your own question there, Andy, which is spot on, because it doesn't sit well. So what can you do? You can't do nothing about it. So, yeah, it'll be exactly that. I think we can go about it our way. We can do what we're supposed to do, which is try and win the game, whatever scoreline we need to do it. And I know Everton need to win the game themselves. But then if we go and do our job, it's 2 weeks' time. Exactly what you've just said there is how the two teams are going to approach it. And a draw for both of them, it sends the both of them through. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but you just don't know, do you, in terms of it should have been on the same night, in my opinion, and, you know, what does that count for?
If the EFL want this competition taken seriously by everybody, John, that's something that's pretty simple to sort out, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think so, and I think that it should have been sorted out, and it should have been on the same night as ours.
Yeah, there's no FA Cup replays anymore.
No.
Those calendar dates are all free. Are we kind of bending over backwards to suit under-21s teams as well in this competition?
Well, possibly. I think because there's been a lot said about the 21s. You know, when the 21s supposed to play, they go even younger and younger. So what type of experience is that for an under-18s or under-16s or 17s player, if you like? So I think maybe they are. I don't know. They'd have to answer that question, but. As I said, it's not right in terms of, you know, a game getting played 2 weeks later, and, you know, you're waiting for the outcome of that.
Just in terms of your team, are you expecting to make a number of changes, or are you quite happy with what you've got?
No, we'll make changes. I think because we sort of have to as well. I think that's what the competition's good for us. I think you get to a certain stage in the competition. Hopefully, if you can get there, then you're looking at it a bit more serious. We always like to take it serious to start off with. And then see where we sit in the league. So tomorrow there'll be a few changes. There'll be younger lads playing, if you like, and there'll be lads off the bench playing, and still lads who actually can actually do a job, are good players, here for the reason, at the team and in the squad. So we'll be making changes tomorrow. Yeah.
Just been speaking to Aaron Pickles. Is it the perfect sort of opportunity for him to come in and show what he's all about again? He's been out on loan, played some non-league minutes this season as well, and to get back in and play with the first team as well.
Yeah, it'd be good for Pickles. I mean, he played against Aaron Pickles, that is. We played against Tranmere. I think he did give a good account of himself then. So it's another opportunity for him tomorrow, not just him, for a few younger lads to do the same thing.
Is there anybody else you can confirm for us at this stage, John, that you're looking forward to seeing?
Do you want to know the team, Andy?
Absolutely. It'd make our research a bit easier.
I know. No, it's there'll be a few younger lads, like, so. As I said, we'll have to watch that space, Andy, and see what happens tomorrow.